As a Gen Xer, I grew up in the suburbs of the 80s and 90s, fed a simple narrative. Work hard, follow the rules, and a stable future is yours. It was a promise my parents and neighbors truly believed in. But the world we actually stepped into? It was a lot more fractured than that. I've spent countless evenings walking through New Orleans, listening to stories from people of all ages. Here, you can feel how the city's rhythm shapes each generation differently. For us, Hurricane Katrina wasn't just a storm. It was a line drawn in the sand of time. Boomers saw their retirement security washed away. My generation, Gen X, had to rebuild our careers and families from scratch. Millennials came back to a city still healing. And Gen Z, born after the storm, inherited the deep-seated knowledge that nothing is guaranteed. This isn't just a New Orleans story. Across the nation, older generations remember a time of relative stability, while younger ones are handed a world of systemic uncertainty in housing, health, and the economy. Even our cultural rituals, like Mardi Gras, show this divide. For boomers, parades were community anchors. For Gen X, they're a mix of nostalgia and the memory of rebuilding. Millennials and Gen Z experience them through a digital lens, following online, connecting virtually, often held back by economic or safety concerns. We see this everywhere. Physical gatherings are now supplemented, or even replaced, by digital ones, a reflection of our changing world. The economy is another major point of separation. In New Orleans, older generations remember steady jobs and tourism. Younger generations, they're navigating the gig economy, precarious work, and crushing debt. Nationally, it's the same picture. Graduates facing inflated housing markets and student loan burdens that our parents' generation couldn't have imagined. Each of us views the American dream through our own unique lens, one of nostalgia for tangible progress, the other of skepticism about whether the system is fair at all. These differences aren't just economic, they're deeply psychological. They shape our trust, our hope, and our ability to connect. I remember a family dinner recently. My Gen Z nephew, a waiter in the French Quarter, was worried about his unstable income. My boomer aunt responded with talk of resilience, telling him to just push through like they did after past storms. For a moment, you could feel the tension. But then, we started sharing stories, rebuilding after Katrina, getting through pandemic closures, using new tech to survive. Understanding didn't come from agreeing with each other, but from finally seeing the unique weight each generation carries. In places like New Orleans, history and geography force us to adapt together. After Katrina, boomers guided younger folks in rebuilding homes. Gen X and millennials tackled insurance and new digital tools. Gen Z brought fresh creativity and tech to reimagine our culture. This is happening all over the country in communities hit by disaster or economic decline. People are coming together. Empathy is the bridge. It's about recognizing that each generation has faced a different world. The goal isn't just to talk, but to truly appreciate what each has endured, the risks they've taken, and the resilience they've shown. This isn't about generational conflict. It's about convergence. Here in New Orleans and across the nation, the lesson is clear. We thrive when we listen, learn, and act together. Each generation brings something vital to the table: memory, adaptive skills, and new vision. When we combine these, we build a foundation for genuine progress. Walking through a rebuilt neighborhood today, I see generations living side by side, in a constant dialogue between history and what's possible. There's grief, but there's also hope and collaboration. This generational crossroads isn't a dead end. It's a threshold. To cross it, we need patience, empathy, and the courage to act together, knowing our futures are all tied together. Thanks for joining me on this reflection. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe and share your own experiences in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going.